I'm a 28-year-old woman working in a career that I've dedicated a lot of time and effort to build. I have my own style, a cozy apartment that I've decorated exactly the way I like, and a close-knit circle of friends. I like to think of myself as someone who's independent, proud of my individuality, and careful about the things I share. Life's been good, or at least it was, until recently when things started getting, well, weird. It all starts with my younger sister, Sophia. She's 23, and while we've always been close, she's always looked up to me a little too much. Growing up, she'd borrow my clothes, sometimes mimic my mannerisms, and I guess I always brushed it off as her just wanting to be a little like her big sister. That's normal, right? But in the last year or so, it's gone from cute sibling behavior to something that feels almost obsessive. Like she's not just imitating me, she's living my life. The first big thing I noticed was her change in career direction. I work in a pretty niche field, something I studied for years to get into. Recently, out of nowhere, Sophia switched her college major to align with mine. At first, I didn't think much of it. Maybe she was genuinely interested. But then, she applied for an internship at my company, the same one I work for. I hadn't even mentioned the internship to her. When I asked her about it, she acted like it was just a coincidence. I just think it's cool what you do, she said, brushing it off. But it didn't stop there. My boyfriend Ethan and I have been together for a couple of years now. He's tall, dark-haired, has a particular sense of style. He dresses casually but well put together, kind of understated but sharp. Not long after the whole internship thing, Sophia shows up at a family gathering with her new boyfriend, who I swear looks like a carbon copy of Ethan. He's dressed the same way, with a similar haircut, even the same type of glasses. Everyone noticed it, and the whole thing made us all uncomfortable. Ethan kept glancing at me with that, "Are you seeing this too?" Look, it was almost like Sophia had gone out and found someone who could be Ethan's twin. Then came the apartment. I'd saved up to move into this cozy little place that I really love. It's one of those older buildings with tons of character, and I spent a lot of time finding the right pieces to make it feel like home. Less than a week after I moved in, Sophia announced she'd just signed a lease in the same building. Not even a heads up, she just casually dropped it into conversation. The worst part? When I asked her why she wanted to live here, she gave me a vague answer about liking the vibe of the building. It felt like she'd found out where I was living and decided it was a good idea for her too. The social media copying was next, and that was where things started getting really strange. I'd post a picture from my favorite coffee shop, and a few days later, Sophia would post from the same place, with a caption, like my new favorite spot. If I shared a shot of my apartment decor, she'd put up something eerily similar, down to the exact plant arrangement. My friends, who usually don't get involved in family stuff, started noticing and privately messaging me about it. "Is Sophia copying your life or something?" One of them asked. Another friend thought it was just a phase, but it didn't feel like one to me. When I brought it up to my parents, they brushed it off. "Oh, you know how she is. It's just sibling stuff," they said, laughing. But this didn't feel like typical sibling stuff. I didn't know how to explain the creeping feeling that I was losing parts of myself, like someone else was taking over little pieces of my life. It was almost like she was shadowing me step by step, and I couldn't shake the feeling that she'd just keep pushing further. Ethan, thankfully, noticed it too. He tried to laugh it off at first, but he admitted he was starting to feel unsettled. He even joked, "If she starts wearing my cologne, I'm out." But there was an edge to his voice that told me he wasn't entirely joking. The whole situation was unsettling, and it felt like something I couldn't control. I finally decided to talk to Sophia directly. I wanted to set boundaries without sounding harsh. I told her it was okay